Yes, sir. We're back. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Remo, aka Mr. Rich Threads. This is Let's Talk Fashion, the podcast where you go fashion, sports, culture, music, a little bit of all of that intertwined in one. We have a barbershop discussion about it. No rights, no wrongs. You know where to jump in on the comment section below if you have any, gripes that you want to get off your chest. You agree with what I'm saying. Do that down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You want to hit me on IG. Remo, you can hit me at rich_threads. That's RICHE_threads. Now, we got a lot to get into this week. We ain't here for that long, but Kith, Ronnie over there with a Marvel and Capcom collection. God damn it. If you don't want to stay nostalgia, he did it once again. We're going to jump into that. They got sneakers, they got merch. They got a little bit of everything going on in that collection. It's kind of dope. Stephen Curry, he is officially a free agent when it comes to footwear. Him and Under Armour didn't come to an agreement, and now he's looking for a new home. I wonder where he'll end up. We also talking about new stars in the NBA and getting sneaker contracts. And Cade Cunningham is now up for a signature sneaker. That's just been reported to be one of 6 players in the NBA. Just 6 players to have a signature basketball sneaker from Nike. The Black Cat 6s, the Black Cat 4s are back. And it's been a little issue. People say they've been squeaking. Does it matter to some people, or they just need to be a part of nostalgia? And then we're going to jump into some music where we discussing the Wale album and what Wale is kind of silently meant to, the hip hop and fashion community. So with all that being said, let's just jump right into it. And we're going to start with the whole Kith, Ronnie, and Marvel versus Capcom collection. Now, let's start off by saying, matter of fact, let me show y'all the rollout that showed that the collaboration was coming. Was coming. Now I don't know what kind of pull that Ronnie got over there, but he has the ability to mix in between all types of brands when it comes to representing Kith. He just recently dropped the next collabo that has some collaborations with New Balance. Now he's back over here with A6. And god damn it, this collection right here, if you don't say nostalgia, man, this remind me of when you used to be in the barber shop or in the corner store when they used to have the arcade joint and you used to have to slap the button in the back to get credits and all of that. Or you had a pocket full of quarters and you was there all day. Some of the gangsters that, we seen today, that was one of those guys, they knew all of the move, all the finishing, come here, and all that other bullshit that they used to do. But this Hope capsule is just a breath of fresh air, man, from I done seen jackets, I done seen sweaters, I done seen toy figurines, t-shirts. We done seen a little Game Boy accessories. A little bit of everything for everybody is in this collection right here. And I don't know if this is a collaboration of the sneakers. I'm not too keen on. Something about when it comes to like superhero sneakers, and it doesn't really do it for me. But I understand the nostalgia with some of these collabos that people feel as though they have to be a part of, so I'm not mad at it. But the actual sneakers themselves, I'm gonna personally pass on. But some of the colorways are kind of dope. It's just not just basically my aesthetic, but the figurines is dope. The way that the sneaker is unboxed with if you get the sneaker with both of the sneakers combined, it has this special boxing where they split in half, and the fact that they playing along with the versus kind of theme is really dope, man. I asked one of my young boys, I said, "You know who this figure is right here?" We was talking about Mega Man. He said, "Of course I know who that is." I said, who is it? He just thought about it. I said, that's Mega Man. Because Mega Man was around when I was a kid. So I know for a fact he didn't know who the hell it was. The Wolverines and Cyclopses and all of that, they gonna know about that. And Street Fighters have been renditioned over and over again. But that's the fact that Ronnie has found a way to, bring back this nostalgia in a tasteful manner because the clothing, the tees are dope. You know what I'm saying? I don't know all the price points on these, but I could see me getting a couple of these pieces and being pretty happy at my purchase right now because it kind of gives me like that feeling like the WWE, the wrestling T-shirts, or well, WWF when it was my age. But being a part of that whole nostalgia, it kind of gives that kind of feel as well. So shout out to Ronnie. I don't know what the fuck kind of contract he got, but whatever he's doing over there, his lawyer got it working in an amazing way. So shout out to him. Now, when we talk about contracts, the contract has expired recently, and Stephen Curry is officially a free agent for Under Armour, right? So initially, when Steph first came into the league, he was down with Nike. And let's just say that, his first couple of years, he was known to have ankle problems. He wore the big ankle braces. And then I heard he kind of had like a campaign and they spelt his name wrong. Nike, the rollout for his, his campaign for his shoe was incorrect spelling his name. So he was like, you know what? I'm not fucking with y'all. So he joined forces with Under Armour. So at that time, Under Armour was kind of just getting in the realm of footwear because they more started out in like in athleisure when it comes to like football under apparel for fitness. But then they ventured out with Steph Curry and got into the whole sportswear and sports sneakers between Cam Newton and Steph Curry. He was one of the first two athletes that was recognizable. To the point where now Steph is what, 36, 37 years old. I think it's bad business for them not to have signed him to a lifetime contract, being that, nobody was really paying attention to Under Armour at all. And what he did for Under Armour was kind of amazing in itself. But I understand it because he is an older gentleman and nobody's leaving their house talking about, I'm going to get the new Steph Currys or the willingness to kind of want to dress like Steph Curry when you have, James Harden's out here. You have the SGAs, you have the Edwards. You got the John Morants. These are big polarizing personalities where, people really want to be like these individuals. And not many people want to be the church guy. You know what I'm saying? The light-skinned guy with the family. How do you market that to young kids today? And to even re-up to getting a new contract, it's just bad business. It doesn't make sense. If it wasn't a lifetime agreement and he had other players on them, I know he did have De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if that gets dissolved with the business as well, or is Fox signed to him wherever he goes? I don't know how that works, but he does have his own logo, and I guess he's able to keep the logo and take wherever he wants. But where could you see Steph Curry right now? It doesn't make sense for him at Nike because they're kind of phasing out their older athletes. PG-13 no longer has a shoe. Melo's gone. I don't think they're doing anything with Russell Westbrook anymore. CP3 is done. Zion, Tatum, a couple of these other dudes that says Nike/Jordan, they're not really making any noise, but they're younger. So to sign an older Steph Curry today in the Nike brand, I don't see the possibility of that. Maybe Allen Iverson's love and his fandom of Steph Curry. Maybe AI got an influence over there at Reebok. Maybe they try to figure out a way to get Reebok extra hot. They got Angel Reese over there. Shaq is back over there. Like I said, AI is over there. I don't know what other athletes they have signed to the brand, but that could be a possibility, give or take. But me personally, where I would see a dope landing spot for Steph Curry, because I think initially he wanted to have like Bible verses on his Nikes and shit like that. They shut that down. Is I think Anta. I think Anta would be a perfect landing spot because they let Kyrie be Kyrie and it not look distasteful. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie's a little bit out there sometimes, but they let him play into his heritage. The whole the Indian side of his family and him trying to figure out who he was as a person and bringing community involved inside of what he got going on, kind of moccasin type of feel to his shoes and all of that. So giving Steph Curry the open runway to kind of maybe get some equity in that brand. He already has the market out there, in Japan and China and all of that. So him partner up with Anta with some kind of stock on the back end on his way out the door might be kind of dope. And if he brings a Fox with him, or let's say he gets in there with like one of these WNBA stars moving forward. I don't know Caitlin Clark is raised out with Nike, but a player like that where he could put his influence in on the female side as well as the male side of basketball. So I think Anta should give him a shot. I don't know how many other athletes Anta got, but I like Kyrie's whole aesthetic over there, and his collection over there is pretty dope as well. So Nike, I don't see that happening. Adidas, I don't see that happening. They still got Dame Lillard over there. They still got James Harden for whatever that's worth. Donovan Mitchell's over there. They lost Trey Young, so he's no longer over there. Who else is over there? Oh, Ant Man. They putting all the marketing dollars behind Ant right now. So would you take away marketing dollars to give it to Steph Curry? No, I wouldn't either. So yeah, shout out to him. But Under Armour, you could have did a little bit better than that though. But it is what it is. Now, we talk about young stars. It's reported that Cade Cunningham for the Detroit Pistons is not going to receive his own signature shoe. And it's kind of crazy that, it's only 6 NBA players in the whole league signed to Nike that have a signature shoe. They're 2 flagship guys, is LeBron James and KD. They're in like sneaker 20, 23, 19. They're around that realm when it comes to, their signature shoes. Then there is Giannis, who I don't say that, I find his sneakers very appealing, but he has a following around the world. So it makes sense to have somebody like Giannis. But I think they could have did better with his marketing, and him took over maybe like the way that they did with Barkley with the Air Force line. That would have been kind of dope, but they don't pay me for my ideas. So you know what I mean? They gotta figure it out down there. Cause it ain't looking too good for him. Now D Book, I don't know what the fuck they doing with D Book. D Book just dropped some sneakers that look like Converse sneakers. He got all the PEs that people might want that's not selling in stores. His shit is just too plain. This sneaker's a real plain Jane. It's not really appealing. It's some real light skin shit. You know what I'm saying? The boring light skin nigga feel to the shoes. And that's just exactly the aesthetic that he gives up. But he is one of the athletes with his signature line. Probably the best signature sneaker out this year, with a new silhouette and all of that, is Ja Morant. They've been in the lab with Ja, man, because I was thinking at first oversaturation in the market when it comes to so many colorways, but the shits that's coming out on the back end, all the shits that leaked, they still fire. And the kids are eating it up. They've seen them all over the league. And you've seen them people wearing it in the streets as well. So I think Ja got a kind of a hold on the streets right now when it comes to the youth, when it comes to fashion, a little bit intertwined and everything, man. And it's more and more now you're seeing that people are wearing basketball sneakers off court once again. So shout out to him. And then there's Cade. I don't know where Cade Cunningham's signature sneaker design would bleed from. Most of these sneakers that Nike's been working on, it has like influence of Kobe Bryant in it. And I seen that with the Giannis's, the Sabrina joints for the WNBA. It kind of has like the DNA of a Kobe Bryant. But I want them to do what they did with Ja. Just take their time and give Cade a kind of a sneaker that represents him. Detroit, Grind Town, the way that the way he plays and the market behind that. Because it's hard being a light skinned dude with attitude, but he has a grit and a grime about his king that people are respecting. And he's kind of solidified himself to, that top 3-4 guard in the league now, where it's you cannot recognize him, especially Detroit is in the top of the East right now. Nobody could have said they would have seen that coming. So it's perfect timing for him, man. D Book is kind of quiet when it comes to, his production level is still high, but people paying attention to him is not as much. So it's perfect timing for Cade to come out with a sneaker, man. So shout out to him. And we'll be anticipating exactly what his shoes gonna come out to look like. Yeah. I know y'all can't get enough of when it comes to these goddamn Jordan 4s. We done had enough of them shits, man. All year they've been dropping Jordan 4s. And you got another one coming. You got the Black Cat 4s about to drop. And a lot of people are having issues with these sneakers because They said they've been squeaking. A lot of weird testers say, they any motion in these sneakers, they've been squeaking. So my thing to the people is, do you really even care?
If you have the 2020 pair, I don't think you need these unless you really love that Nike Air on the back. One of the things that people seem to be claiming is there's this loud squeak. So let's set the box down. You guys hear that? Pretty sure that's something that's gonna be a problem just because you're not really sitting squeezing your sneaker like this when you're walking, but maybe with some flexion.
I really even care. I know this has been a highly anticipated shoe for some time now, but if Nike puts out a shoe that is squeaking all over the place, doesn't matter to the people anymore. Are you just buying things to buy it at this point? Or does quality even matter? Because the shoe is like $220 after tax. You got $235, something like that, $240. But they're squeaking. While you walk. Not while you're running, not while you're in the gym, but while you walk. You'll never have a silent move. Me personally, I'm kind of over the redundant shit. Like, I get it. Once upon a time, Black Cats was covered it after. Everybody wanted them and all of that shit. Cool, but I'm good, man. I don't have any more room for any fours. I don't have much room for any sneakers, period. But if I do, I'm not going to jump and go get these. There's other shit I can get that's coming down the pipeline, and I'm good. I'm good on these all black sneakers. I understand that all black sneakers are a thing for some people. Shout out to Joe Lapone. That's one of his things. He loves a black pair of sneakers, but I got my metallic fives. I'm good when it comes to all black. But do y'all care? Do y'all care that these sneakers are squeaking coming out of the factory? I don't care because I'm not gonna get them. But what say y'all? Does it matter for y'all? Does quality even matter? Because there's been a lot of quality control issues coming out of Nike and people still have been eating it up. So does it matter to y'all? Leave a comment below and let us know. Does quality matter anymore, or is it all about the drip? Now, before we get out of here, I want to big up Wale, man. He has a new album. Everything is a lot, right? So, Wale is one of those guys that people don't fully give credit for because, he's a little bit different. He wears his emotions on the sleeve when it comes to his music. He's very transparent about, depression and how he's feeling at the moment. But what I think Wale doesn't get, enough credit for is being one of the trendsetters when it comes to the fashion game, when it comes to the sneaker game, and being really a student of the game without it being real hype beastish. You know what I'm saying? He is from the DMV and he's, was big on the phone posits when they came out. The Nike boot era, and then he kind of made recently wearing basketball sneakers off court cool. So last year he kind of displayed the AE1s, and he wore them in real cool fashion where it kind of was a tutorial of how to wear it off court. And then he turned around, and then the GT Futures was presented by Wale first. We haven't seen anybody with him. Prior to that, he was one of the first people to actually display it once again off the court. And he's just finding ways to put fits together with basketball sneakers. Now he turned around, the A2s is here. He did it once again with those. Then he did it with the Ja Morant 3s. I think we got to give more credit to Wale when it comes to fashionable moments and being an all-out trendsetter when it comes to fashion, because you never see him doing anything out of his element, and it looks like he's always been authentic to himself, whether it be the varsity jackets and the big hats and you know what I'm saying? He's always been a little different, but different is good these days because when we're in an era where everybody's dressing alike and there's no individuality, people kind of get stuck in a loop where they want to be like the next person, or, you can't stand out because you deem to be weird. But I don't think Wale really gives a fuck. And that's the thing that's, makes him stand apart from everybody. And the album in itself is a pretty dope listen. I don't know how much he spent on samples because there's a lot of soulful samples in there. And it's a good listen from front to back. He always makes good music, solid music. He's always been on top of the charts. But for some reason, he's not digestible at all. I don't know, because, He's not wearing the big chains and driving the big cars and real extra gaudy about his shit, but he's always been a man of the peoples. And I respect, his knowledge of sports as well. Because, I know him and KD is boys. He used to play football back in the day. He's always been around the sports. He could speak sports, which is kind of dope because, the worst thing about it is somebody that's not, well versed. You could talk sneakers, but you couldn't talk anything else. You could talk basketball, you can't talk anything else. You could talk football, you can't talk anything else. I don't want to talk to you. I need you to be able to have a conversation a little bit about everything except politics. Keep the politics to yourself. That starts too much wars, especially during Thanksgiving coming up. Y'all leave that alone, man. But that's all I got for y'all this week, man. Shout out to Wale. Shout out to Cade Cunningham. Steph Curry, we're going to find you a new home. And Kith over there, Ronnie, hell of a job when it comes to that Marvel capsule. But on that note, stay away from squeaky shit, man. It's your boy Rebo, a.k.a. Mr. Rich Threads. Hit me on Rich_Threads. This is Let's Talk Fashion. Until next week, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace.